What's going on, everyone? This is Tom from Two Guys Talking Toys, and I'm back again with another Auldey review. I love this toy line. I love the Alpha Action Elite series that Auldey is doing. This is the perfect next step generation of Action Masters. The way that they've handled this toy line has been great, and I was able to get my hands on a specialized three pack that is just the Coneheads. I love that they just went straight up and said, we're not going to mess around. We're not going to drip these out through waves. We're just going to give you all the Coneheads in one go. Enjoy. So I will. Let's enjoy. First, take a quick look at the box art. They show off Dirge, Ramjet, and Thrust. Some really neat looking action shots, some group shots. You get a quick preview of all the stuff you get. You do get a lot of stuff. Them again, and on the back, the Coneheads enjoying themselves some Energon cubes. Are they in the Savage Land? Looks like they're in the Savage Land for reasons I don't get. But anyways, let's get these guys out of here because they are awesome. So right off the bat, super impressive. They did a really good job of capturing the looks and the feel of the Coneheads. It looks like they tend to follow. Always seems to be following the animation models and colors a little bit more than the toy likenesses. So that explains why Dirge is this color and not kind of his darker blue toy colors. But they look phenomenal. Sculpting on the head, on the face, just all like the robotic details are fantastic. Ramjet, who I've always viewed as kind of I guess, the leader of this subgroup, but there's clearly some reuse with the Seeker mold, but that's to be expected since that's what the original Cone heads were. But the addition of the new parts works out really well and they look really good. Thrust has always been my favorite. You can doodle like a name if you like, but he's always had. I've always liked his color scheme, whether it be the maroon and the gray, or the more toy accurate black and gray. I'm sorry, black and red maroon has always looked really good. It's a very striking combination. And for one reason, I've always really liked the VTOL engines that he had. I don't know who ever saw him properly use those in the cartoon. They were always just kind of in the sky, becoming fodder for other people. And good old Dirge. Yeah, now, granted, this is probably one of the easier multi-packs for Aldi to put out there, since these are using relatively the same mold, aside from the wings. Not too much is different on the Coneheads, which is what made them so appealing. And as a company, why not? They are dripping out the Seekers, which I think is kind of funny. So we have Starscream currently, and I don't know when Thundercracker or Skywarp will be coming out. I'm sure in a later wave. So these guys come with, you get an art card that shows them all hanging out with Starscream, being awesome. Just some line art on the back. They also come with some useful instruction. It shows you everything that you get, all of the hands. It gives you, now this is very cool. So you do get additional faces that come with the cone head, so you can have them with different expressions. I don't know what these are. These just look like giant cannons for reasons I don't fully understand why they have these. I guess this is just explaining the articulation on them. And you also get a flight stand. Unfortunately, you only get one. I think it would have been really nice to have gotten three of these. Like, I would gladly have given up whatever these are for some more flight stands, so you can hook all of them up and have them look like they're flying around. But real quick, let's take a look at some of the things that you get with the cone heads. You get a ton of hands, and I think part of the reason that they went with the animation model is because you can keep this level of gray consistent across all of them. So there are all kinds of hands for all kinds of hands for all kinds of things. You've got your fist hands, you have your open grabby hands, you have the talking to you hands. I really like the come get some hands that I gave to Dirge. These are those big old cannon things. I don't know what these are. I don't know what their purpose is. They do look cool if you put them on. If you put them on the cone head, if you remove their. I mean, I don't know if this is exactly what you're supposed to do with them, but you can mount one of these on the shoulder. Have Dirge be really heavily armed out there. Or maybe these. Oh no, there's no peg for these to go onto the wings. I thought maybe you could mount them on the wing here, but no such luck. But yeah, so those are kind of weird. They seem a little unnecessary to me, unless you wanted to make them stand out and be a lot more different from one another. Since aside from the colors, they're pretty similar. What I thought was really cool is that you get different face plates for all of the Coneheads. One of the other things that they did to differentiate them was to actually change the color of their faces. So everyone's face is a very specific color. So you have kind of a more metallic, a little bit darker gunmetal gray for Ramjet here. A little bit more of a muted gray for Dirge. I love that they all come with four expressions. It's the same expression. No, technically five, because they all come with a preset face in there, and then these are in addition to that. And then you have this lighter gray for Thrust, which is very cool. So you can decide whether or not they are happy or smirking or mad or angry or mortified. So that that is very cool. I like having that option. So let's tackle the articulation real quick. So Dirge has, or this is pretty uniform across all of the cone heads. You get articulation in the head and neck because they are on a ball socket. He gets a pretty decent range. There's both the neck joint as well as a joint that connects it to the torso. So you get a pretty wide range of motion there. Be careful to not mess around too much, or the face will kind of flop out. You get rotation in the movement in the torso. Uh, I guess kind of. I don't know if this counts as an ab crunch, but you can get some up and down motion there. In addition to, there is a waist swivel in here, but it doesn't do a whole lot. Most of your motion is coming from the top portion here. Man, it's crazy to me that these have butterfly joints. So you get articulation at the shoulder. You also get rotation in the upper arm, a hinge at the elbow, and a simple twist at the wrist. The hands are, of course, removable. You can swap those out with something else. Shoulder cannons are, of course, removable. One of my favorite things, and I think it's such a really well implemented articulation bit, is the drop down joints in the hip area. So you already have pretty good range of motion in the hip, but then it also drops down just a little bit depending on what you're having him do. It really helps work with the articulation here. So if you're having them do something that require the hip joint to come out just a little bit extra, that drop down hip activates so you can get a little bit more of a full look at that range of motion there. That's it's so good. It's so well done. And I believe these are 4.5 inches tall. No, he's about 5 inches. About 5 inches tall. And again, on an action figure that is this size, and it's not super small by any means, but to have all of this packed into a single action figure, that is really impressive to me. So you get articulation in the knee. That goes pretty decent amount. You can swivel. That's really good. You can swivel all the way back there. Oh, that all right. So here's something to be mindful of. I'm having a little too much fun here. So the way that these are assembled, you can see where the peg assembly is. So if you're pushing and pulling just a little too much, you may cause that to pop out. Don't think that these are badly made, because this happens on occasion. This was me messing around with them, playing a little too hard with this toy. This is actually the first time that I've had that happen. I've been fiddling with a lot of the Auldey Transformers for a while, and that's the first time I've seen this. But if you fiddle a little too much, as I'm doing right now, you fiddle just a little too much. These are pegged into place. I don't mind that on occasion if you stress them a little bit too much. I'd rather it pop off than break. So articulation at the ankle is a ball socket, so you can get a pretty wide range of motion there. And there you have it. I am thoroughly enjoying the Aldi Transformers. I can't recommend these any more highly. They are really well done. They look really good. And of course, you want to toss them on the light stand. Now you've got the option. You can plug it into the back here, or plug it right at the base of his spine. Now I'll learn them. You can get some really dynamic posing out of these guys using using the flight stand, which is why I really wish that they had come with three instead of just the one. And, you can get flight stands from anywhere, but I don't want to say that these were super expensive. But you're getting three, so you're paying a little bit more, and it would be nice to have gotten an extra flight stand. But you do get a lot of stuff. There's a ton of hands. You get the guns. You get those extra blaster things. I don't know what they are. Uh, they are very, very well done. You can get a lot of personality out of these. So I am on board for these. I guess I am an Aldi fanboy. Go out and get these figures. Yeah, real quick, let's see. Dirge hanging out with his bigger transformable cousin, Dirge Darko. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because this is not he's not that much larger than the Aldi Dirge. I mean, to the tip of the head, he is 6 inches. To the tip of the shoulder bit, it's a little over 6.5, but not bad. And comparing the two, if they just released another 3 pack and they said these are the toy based colored versions, I might, I might bite on them because these look so good. So at the end of the day, once again, Aldi pulls out a really, really nice looking set of Transformer figures. Once again, if you're looking for action figures that don't have to transform, still look like Transformers, are well articulated, look really good, have great color work, I can't recommend these any more highly than I do. Go out and get this 3 pack. It's really, really good. You can get these on AliExpress. I believe Shozy Store sells them. You can look around. You can find them. They're on eBay as well. So I thoroughly enjoy messing around with these guys. They come with a lot of accessories. They've got the softable plates, tons of hands. You can make them be super expressive. Get them into all kinds of really fun poses. The only drawback I would say is that I wish they had two more flight stands instead of just the one. But you can get flight stands from anywhere and have a good time. So I hope that you have enjoyed this review. If you have, please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel, come back for more reviews. And until next time, take care, everybody.